In part by production assistance from WTVH Television, 5 on your side, and by Key Bank of Central New York.
Hello, I'm Jim Gaspo, president of Key Bank in Central New York. As a major sponsor of Syracuse University athletics, Key is proud to be affiliated with the National Championship Program and a world-class academic institution. The season was a magical one that will not soon be forgotten by the Orange faithful. The achievements of this year's team are attributed to its exceptional talent, teamwork, remarkable confidence, and never-say-die attitude. They were certainly exciting to watch along the way and an inspiration for our entire community. Here at Key Bank, our employees demonstrate a similar spirit and enthusiasm in their daily interactions with our many customers across the country. On behalf of Key Bank and all of my associates, I'd like to extend our congratulations to Coach Boeheim, his staff, and the team on winning the national championship, which has indeed evoked an enormous sense of pride in Central New York. We hope you'll enjoy the following presentation, which will provide lasting memories of the Orangemen's quest for the national championship. Go Orange!
It's time to meet your 2003 national champions. Number 15, from Baltimore, Maryland, Carmelo Anthony. The pride of Scranton, Pennsylvania, number 3, Jerry McNamara.
During the 2000-2001 basketball season, number 22 Carmelo Anthony was a junior at Towson Catholic High School in Baltimore. His on-court accomplishments earned him Player of the Year honors in the Baltimore area. It also opened the eyes of college recruiters all over the country, including Syracuse assistant coach Troy Weaver.
He was a guy that could do just about everything you want on the basketball court as a player. You know, he could shoot it, could pass it, he could rebound it, could handle the ball, and he's a great competitor.
Just up the road in Scranton, Pennsylvania, fellow assistant Mike Hopkins had become smitten with a 6'1" gym rat named Jerry McNamara. Ironically, the first time Hopkins saw him play in person was in the Carrier Dome.
His team was playing against our camp all-stars, and Coach Bam came over to me and he says, "Well, where's this McNamara kid?" And I said, "He's number 31. And he goes, "He can't be that good," you know, because he's this small little guy. And then he goes up and he two-hand dunks it. The coach is like, he's got good legs. And then we proceed, we're watching it, and he makes about 9 threes in the first 4 minutes of the game. And it was like, where's his family? You know, are they there? And he's fearless. He loves the challenge.
The challenge for Hopkins and Weaver was to sign these two players. Back in Syracuse, the challenge for another young recruit was simply to make it through the day. Billy Edelin was living in near poverty while serving a 1-year suspension from the university.
That was the difficult time, being on his own, having to take care of everything himself, getting everywhere himself, being really totally on his own in really a strange city, Syracuse.
Obviously you have days when you're a little bit more down than others, but I think my teammates always encouraging me and trying to keep me up and looking positive for the future, and your family and people that really do care about you, those are the people I think get you through the downtime.
He tried to stay in shape by playing against 30 and 40-year-old men in a suburban recreation league. Unbeknownst to anyone, playing in those games was actually a violation of NCAA rules, and Edelin was slapped with yet another suspension.
You know, I know Troy said something a few times. He said God must really like you because he definitely pushes you to the limits to see how much you can take. And I give him a lot of credit because I don't think there's too many people that have gone through what Billy went through and stuck it out.
With or without Edelin, the season would begin. Anthony McNamara and fellow freshman Matt Gorman would join 3 sophomores, a junior and a senior, to become the team's nucleus. They had potential to be sure, but very limited expectations. Gangly Hakeem Warren was a frequent contributor as a freshman. Ditto Craig Forth, who started every game at center. Josh Pace played in 32 games. Intimidating center Jeremy McNeil would be a junior. And the lone senior, Queth Dwaney, had high hopes of leading this diverse group of youngsters to the promised land.
I always started from whenever we started playing as a team, like in our workouts in preseason, because I just saw how much talent we had.
But it would take more than talent. They needed chemistry and didn't waste any time establishing a very special bond.
From the beginning of the season, we were all hanging out with each other. You know, obviously some of us more than others, but on a whole, everybody was pretty much, you know, going out together, hanging out. You know, we'd practice and play every single day, so, you know, we got used to each other, got used to how we played on the court.
Right from the start, it was a very close group, and they really got along, and it just, you could sense something special about it. You didn't know how good they were going to be, but you knew it was going to be a fun year to coach.
Jim Boeheim was optimistic as he embarked on his 27th season as head coach. The previous year had its share of trying moments. Boeheim missed 3 games recovering from prostate surgery, and his team missed the NCAA tournament for only the 5th time in his tenure. But just before preseason practice began, tragedy struck the basketball family with the sudden and unexpected death of Jeremy McNeil's mother, Zonnie.
I mean, when I talked to my sister when she died, first thing my sister said is, "Don't quit school." I thought I was just going to go home, sell dope. But my sister told me, you know what I'm saying, Mom, why don't you go to school? And she was so proud of me being in Syracuse.
Thanks to the support of his family, Jeremy returned to Syracuse. His teammates helped him cope, and together they prepared for what Zonnie envisioned would be a season of unparalleled success. November 14th, 2002 launched a new chapter in the long-running Syracuse basketball saga. The Orangemen would open their season against Memphis in the Coaches vs. Cancer Classic at Madison Square Garden. It was a brilliant debut for freshman phenom Carmelo Anthony.
Are you serious? How good is this kid? He will be the most sniper dandy in America and the best ever to wear a Syracuse uniform. Take that to the bank, my friends. He is genuine. He is for real.
Anthony tallied 27 points and 11 rebounds in his first collegiate game. But despite his 21-point first-half outburst, Memphis raced to a 17-point lead. The Orangemen chipped away and cut the deficit to 9 by halftime, then went on to an 18-3 run to capture a 6-point lead. But in the last 8 minutes of the game, Syracuse scored only 2 points, and Memphis earned a 70-63 win.
We missed 8 free throws in a row at the end, so if we just made our free throws, we would have won the game. And for our first game with our freshmen without Billy, I thought we played very well in New York. We just didn't finish it, but it was a good indication of what we could do, and then we come right off that game and win 11 straight games.
You wanna be reaching the top, you're on a mission. You're highly trained for the coming competition. Others have come to do exactly the same, but hey, it's your job now to win the game. So keep pushing, cause the heat is on, you're on the track, and someone here is gonna be leading the pack. So it's up to you to take the head for the pedal if you wanna be the winner and take home the medal. Keep pushing to the top, and just don't stop. Work till you drop, keep on the up. Keep pushing to the top, and just don't stop. Work till you drop, keep on the up. Keep pushing to the top, and just don't stop. Work till you drop, keep on the up. Keep pushing to the top, and just don't stop. Work till you drop, keep on the up.
4 days before Christmas, the Orangemen welcomed their first big-name opponent to the Carrier Dome. but the Cuse had an easier time beating Georgia Tech than it did Canisius. After a slow start, Syracuse exploded for 58 points in the first half.
Left side, Carmelo Anthony goes reverse layup, and it's not going to end it.
A long pass to Anthony. He spins, wheels, deals, and jams inside.
Jerry McNamara takes it down the lane, scoops it underneath. Hakeem Warren goes up with a hook shot jam.
3 players achieved double-doubles, led by freshman Jerry McNamara's 25 points and 10 assists.
Overall, that might have been our best game, player by player, and, as far as, distribution of points. And, we wanted to go home for Christmas break the right way. And I think, we were all ready to play. And, in front of all those fans, we didn't want it any other way.
I think it displayed what this team was capable of offensively and how multifaceted they were. It wasn't just Carmelo Anthony. It was also Jerry McNamara. It was also Hakeem Warwick. It was also Queth Dwayne. It was also Josh Pace off the bench. And you saw that there were multiple weapons on this team.
With the new year came the start of the Big East Conference season. The Orangemen opened at Seton Hall. The first half seesaw, and the Pirates took a 35-31 lead to the locker room. Lewis Moore's team held on to that advantage for most of the second half, but the Cuse refused to let them pull away. Suddenly, Jerry McNamara stepped up and scored 9 straight points to tie the game at 56 with 6 minutes to play. Then senior Queth Dwayne simply took over the game.
Down the lane and rises up and hammers down with the right hand.
Dwayne scored 9 straight to complete the comeback. His 20 points enabled the Orangemen to secure a 70-66 victory.
Playing on the road in the Big East, it's always tough to get a win. And, going down there and stealing that game, it showed like the character, that everybody was calling us comeback kids and all that stuff. And I think it started all back then with Seton Hall because we believed that we could actually win that game and be it down.
Yet another player stole the show in the Boston College game. Sophomore Hakeem Warren lit up the Eagles for 24 points on 8 of 11 shooting and snapped 15 rebounds in an 8-point triumph. Before the Big East schedule would resume, the Orangemen welcomed 11th-ranked Missouri from the Big 12 Conference to the Carrier Dome. And what a game it was.
The right side, guarded closely by McKinney inside the backcourt. But Anthony re-gets it back, throws it back to Anthony, pulls up from 15, and nothing but the bottom of that for Carmelo Anthony. To the lane to Warren, backing in now against Young, over the left shoulder, pulls up, jumper good by Hakeem Warren. McNamara for 3, steps in, pulls up from 15, yes! Nothing but the bottom of that. Top of the key, puts out to his left, shovels off left of the lane, Warren backing in, fakes right, spins left, throws over the right hand, shot is up and good by Hakeem Warren. Anthony fakes against Kroenke once, twice, drives down the lane, pulls up from 15, jumper, good by Carmelo Anthony.
When it was over, Syracuse celebrated a 75-61 win over the Tigers.
Craig Forth came up with one of his best games of the entire season and a great win for the Orange. I think that was probably one of the first signs that this team was going to be better than we all thought in the preseason.
January 18th, 2003, it seemed that day would never come for Billy Edelin. After sitting out one entire season and 12 games of a second season, Edelin was finally on the basketball court in a Syracuse uniform. But his debut against third-ranked Pittsburgh was not what he had hoped it would be.
I mean, it was, an exciting day because I got to get back on the court finally, after sitting out for such a long time or whatever and just to play. But I only got to play 6 minutes or something, so I didn't really get a chance to see where I was at or what I really could do. And I had to understand that because the team, had already been playing well. So it was a tough situation at first, but everything worked out.
Things did not work out on that day for his team as the Orangemen lost for the first time in 13 games.
We just didn't play well on offense, and defensively we hung in the game for a little while, but we really weren't ready for that kind of game at that stage of the season. Pittsburgh's experience and physical play really overwhelmed us, I thought, in the game.
The Cuse rebounded from its first conference defeat of the season against Seton Hall, a team they had struggled against just 14 days earlier. The game wasn't nearly as tight as the first matchup, and the Orangemen cruised to an 18-point win. After a real test at Miami in which SU had to rally again to win by 5, the Orange traveled to Rutgers. Syracuse had to stage yet another comeback in this game at the Rollicking Rack to set up an exciting but disappointing finish.
Sherrod, shot clock at 5, 3 by Sherrod. Oh, and out of town. Lamasana with a three-pointer. 68-65. 11 and a half seconds. Anthony working outside. Turns, shoots, no good. Sherrod the rebound. Where to foul. Wow. For the fourth time in the last 5 games here, Rutgers has upset Syracuse.
After struggling on the road, the Orangemen returned to the Dome for a rematch with now second-ranked Pittsburgh. Over 30,000 fans filled the arena for what would become a college basketball classic.
That's what you play for. You know, that's why we came to Syracuse, so we could see 30,000 fans going nuts, you know, like heckling the Pitt players and stuff like that.
In spite of the intimidating hometown crowd, Pittsburgh led most of the first half by as many as 14 points. But the comeback kids were ready for another run. And Hakeem Warren led the charge.
Right of the lane for Warren. Backs it against Sabaskis. Spins on the left shoulder now. And Pitt leads in. Blake shot is up and good. And the Orange have regained the lead. 61-60. Dominic Key crosses over. Penetrates. Keeps on the left side to Sabaskis. Going to return pass to line up. Picked by Brown. Wide of the circle. Picks up the dribble. Gives on the right side. Shot clock at 2. Dominic Key. Brown pulls up from 25. Oh, what a shot. Brown trades a 3-ball from straight on.
Pitt led by 4 with 1:43 left. And Jeremy McNeil, a 28% free throw shooter, went to the foul line determined to tie the game.
Don't miss. That's always in my mind. Don't miss.
Right-handed toss by McNeil. Yes!
Well, I make him stay after every day and shoot free throws. And he can't leave unless he shoots at least 70%. So I knew he was capable of doing it, and Jeremy worked hard on his free throw shooting.
Unbelievable moment right here with 47 seconds left. One more coming for the tie, and he got it! How about that? We're tied at 65 with 47 seconds to play. Delaney put the hand out trying to close the distance between the two of them. Shot clock at 8. Knight goes to work against Delaney. Down the lane, shovels out of the hoop. Brown has it knocked away. Stolen by Anthony. 14 seconds to play. Gives it off to McNamara. And Jim Boeheim wants time in front court. And he gets it with 10.4 to play. We're tied at 65 here at the Carrier Dome. Here we go. 10 seconds to play. Ball played in the McNamara. Down to 7 seconds across the timeline. Penetrating down the lane. Scoops up with the left-handers up. Shot won't go. The ball is picked up and in by McNeil with 3 seconds to play. Brown plays it into Krauser. He bobbles down the 1. Down the 1 second. And a timeout is called. The clock says 0. Did they get time? Did they get time?
Crowd's on the floor. They called time.
They did call time. About a second to play. 67-65. The crowd is rushing the floor. There should be time left.
After reviewing the videotape, the officials put 0.8 of a second back on the clock.
Brown is going to inbounds, is not allowed to run, just out to our left. He will inbounds near the sideline. Looking, still looking, throws a baseball pass down court, caught by Knight, turns, steps, fires, it's on the way, and it's up and in! It's up and in! He hit the shot! Is it good or not? And now the crowd once again has stormed the court.
That's going to be good.
Is that a good shot or not? 67-65. Man, I don't think he got it off in time.
Was it over or not? The refs huddled one more time to decide.
Thought he made the catch, and he spun and took a step. And now we get word, the Orangemen have upset number 2 Pittsburgh here at the Carrier Dome, and Quinlan reigns.
That was my best college experience. Everybody just went crazy. They stormed the court. I jumped on the table. Everybody jumped on the table. It was just a fun experience.
Everybody just started storming the court, and I just jumped on the scores table to try to get away, and it was just crazy seeing the fans all excited, my teammates excited.
It was a tremendous day in the Dome. The crowd was as good as it's ever been here, and we really needed to win that game to kind of get back into the league, get back into the country, and it was a huge game for us.
The Orangemen didn't have long to celebrate. Just 2 days later, arch-rival Georgetown came to town. Syracuse took command immediately behind Mello and Mack, both of whom scored 22 points in the game.
Anthony Reed gets it back, throws it back to Anthony, pulls up from 15, and nothing but the bottom of it.
In the end, the Hoyas put SU at the free throw line, where the Orangemen converted 14 straight foul shots and emerged with an 8-point win. The Cuse then hit the road for games at West Virginia and Connecticut. In Morgantown, freshman Carmelo Anthony and Billy Edelin posted career highs in a 94-80 victory over the Mountaineers. Mello poured in 29 while Edelin chipped in 18. From West Virginia, the Orangemen traveled to Connecticut, where Anthony equaled his 29-point output but didn't get much help from his teammates. As a result, Syracuse was saddled with a 75-61 defeat, just its third of the season. But the setback was quickly forgotten. Just 5 days later, 9th-ranked Notre Dame came to the Dome, and so did over 32,000 fans, including a couple thousand from Jerry McNamara's hometown of Scranton.
You know, all of Scranton's pretty much Notre Dame football fans, including myself, so, you know, they jumped at the chance when we were playing Notre Dame, so, yeah, it meant a lot to me to give back to them for all they've given to me.
McNamara didn't waste any time giving his fans something to cheer about.
Fadeaway 15-footer jumper. Good by Jerry McNamara. Right side of McNamara fakes against Jones. Crosses over once, twice, takes to the paint, pulls up, jumper. Good. And I'll tell you what, G-Mac can turn Jones inside out with a double move. At the free throw line, shovels right side. G-Mac pulls up for three, jumper. Right between the eyes from downtown. McNamara.
When G-Mac cooled off, Mello and Hack picked up the slack.
Tough shovels off down. Baseline Anthony lays it up and in as 2-3 zone defense now. Alley-oop pass to Carmelo Anthony. Makes the grab and he lays it up and in. For a pass left wing back to Marv, throws the alley-oop. Warwick the grab and the jam with two hands.
But in the second half, the Irish built a 10-point lead with 9 minutes left in the game. 2.5 minutes later, McNamara knotted the score at 69 and the crowd settled in for another thriller.
This game it just lit this house on fire. Takes the ball. Thomas waits defensively. The midcourt drive across the timeline to right to left goes in. Passes on the right side, wide open. McNamara pulls up for three. No kick with net. Right between the eyes. And G-Mac gives the Orange a 2-point lead. 82-80. 13 seconds to play. Thomas across the timeline from left to right. Inside left side to Carroll. Penetrating down the lane. Comes to a jump stop. Shot is deflected away by McNeil. Loose ball away. The hands of Warwick. Throws it in the air. 2 seconds on the clock. It bounces on the court. Down the one. Sliding out of bounds. Miller as time expires. And the Orange have knocked off number 10 Notre Dame here at the Carrier Dome. 82-80. How about the shot by McNamara?
He loves the challenge. You know, some people say it reminds you of Scott Skiles, John Stockton. He's an explosive player who's got ultra supreme confidence, and he's a winner.
The last shot Jerry hit, I don't know, why. Carroll left him so wide open. He's been hitting shots all year long, and you can never leave Jerry that wide open for a three. And it was great to see the crowd explode like that when it happened.
It was now mid-February. The Orangemen had a 17-4 record, 8-3 in the Big East, and winners of all 15 games played at the Carrier Dome. St. John's was the next comer, and once again the Cuse had to erase a deficit to claim victory. McNamara's three with 4 minutes left tied the game. The Johnnies challenged the Orange to win it at the line, and they did. 4 games remained in the Big East Conference regular season. But before the stretch run, Syracuse would travel to Big Ten country to play at Michigan State. This game was an entirely new experience for the Cardiac kids. This time, they had the lead, but had to withstand a Spartan comeback.
Chris Hill is unconscious. He's taking care of his business. Quick spin move.
McNamara off the left side, bounces on baseline, driving in. Anthony throws up, count the bucket, the whistle. Looks to his left, cutters through the paint. High the right side, Hill from 30, jumper, yes! On the near sideline, on the 28-foot hash mark, plays the ball out to Anderson. We're down to 15. Anderson top of the key. Looks to his left, trying to get it to Hill. Gives out to Ballinger. Down to Hill. Hill guarded by 20 out top. Pushes out. Down to 8 seconds. Penetrates down the lane. Shovels out to Turbot. Right side goes airborne. Throws it up. Shot won't go. The follow tip missed. Fourth punting court inside. It's loose in the court. Anderson pull-away jumper. Won't go. Tipped in the air and knocked out of bounds. And the game comes to an end. And the Orange have knocked off the Spartans of Michigan State here in East Lansing, 76-75.
For us to go up there and play the way we did spoke volumes of our team. If the kid Chris Hill doesn't make 10 threes, I mean, we beat them by 20 points. And then I thought that, said, hey, you got a shot to be pretty good.
Back in the Big East, the Syracuse defense held West Virginia to just 20% shooting and 17 points in the first half of their contest. It was too much for the Mountaineers to overcome as the Cuse cruised to a 38-point win. The MCI Center in Washington, D.C. was sold out for the renewal of the Syracuse-Georgetown series. Carmelo Anthony battled the Hoyas' Mike Sweetney for the scoring title in this game. Sweetney claimed a 31-30 edge, and the game itself was just as tight.
Hip is up and in by Carmelo Anthony.
Back of the right side, Bethel open for three, takes the three and drains the three. Angles to the left side, bounces the corner, G-Mac pulls up for three, jumper, good, play back to Vera. Mitch Bethel in the backcourt, has it knocked away, stolen by Elin, goes up, throws over the right hand, count the bucket, the whistle, and the foul on Pellman.
Court gives off to Riley, Riley up court, has the ball knocked away, Sweetney away with it, back to Riley, fadeaway three-pointer at the buzzer, yes, it's up and in with 3 seconds to play, and a timeout is called by the Orangemen.
The game went to overtime. That's when Jerry McNamara scored 10 of his 22 points, and Craig Ford put the exclamation point on a 93-84 conquest. 3 days later, SU traveled to Notre Dame, and just like their first slugfest, this one went down to the wire.
That is 10 in the second half, 24 in the ballgame, and a long three-pointer by Carroll off the left wing. Shovels off Wirt, airborne, he's hammered, ball trickles out right side to Elin, no call. Elin penetrates in the paint, goes airborne, throws up, off the glass, it's up and in. Quick pass up court, Carroll pulls up for three, left wing, yes! And we're tied. 28 for Matt Carroll. Faking once, twice, driving in the lane, throwing above the glass, and it's up and in by Carmelo Anthony. Anthony pulling his way to the bucket. And fake, leans in, contact, fires, number one goal. Anthony, the follow tip, it is up and good. Carmelo Anthony's had 2 big buckets, and that makes it awful tough. Ball played into Thomas across the timeline. Down to 6 seconds, fires a long three-ball jumper, rims off one go. Anthony the rebound with 3 seconds to play. In traffic, dribbles away, down to 2, down to 1, and that's your ball game. SU comes in and knocks off Notre Dame here at South Bend, 92-88.
When you're able to go on the road late in the season and win at those places, you're a special team. You're starting to create a little bit of momentum, a little bit of an aura around you. They were coming together as a group.
On March 9th, an NCAA on-campus record crowd of 33,071 gathered inside the Carrier Dome. They came to see if their team could cap an undefeated home season, to say goodbye to an exemplary senior, to salute a former star, and to most likely see the current star play in Syracuse for the last time.
I made it a point to get to that game early because I wanted to see what it would be like. You know, before the game when they're shooting around, you can count, there's like 2 or 3 deep usually, you know, at any game. Suddenly Rutgers game, they're 6 and 7 deep now, just watching them shoot around. And you got the kids over there, please stay Carmelo, we love you Carmelo. And I think the fact that it was going to be his last game in the Dome maybe had something to do with it.
So to the fact that it was senior captain Queth Thwaites' Dome adieu.
That's what, my mother and father in the stands, they don't ever get many opportunities to watch me play. And just my whole family there to support me. And seeing 33,000 and seeing I love Q signs and, the fans just showing their appreciation, that meant a whole lot to me. I almost shed a tear. It was just a great moment for me and my family.
It was also a great moment for Sherman Douglas, who had his jersey retired. Ironically, the General was a member of the Syracuse team that went to the Final Four in New Orleans in 1987. All of the emotional fanfare caused the Orangemen to almost forget about their opponent, Rutgers. The Cuse eventually prevailed to complete an unblemished home season. Melo scored 30 points and grabbed 14 rebounds in what would be his dome finale, while Cuse said goodbye with a very respectable 15. Syracuse finished the regular season with an enviable record of 23-4. Its 13-3 conference mark was good enough for the West Division's top seed in the upcoming Big East tournament. Syracuse had never beaten Georgetown 3 times in a single season, but that was the opportunity afforded the Orange in the Big East tournament. The Hoyas certainly wouldn't make it easy.
Somehow he coaches that one up and in by Carmelo Anthony.
Drives on the left side, stops at 10, banks out his up and good. Carmelo Anthony. 2 hands at right side, wide open. Dwayne elevates for 3. Kicks nothing but the bottom of the net for Clef Delaney. Spins, fires, misses, and the alley-oop jam to Craig Ford.
Left wing pulling up for 3. Carmelo Anthony, shot won't kill. Offensive rebound for it. He flies off the hard one and hammers it down.
The 5-point victory provided the Orangemen with another opportunity in the semifinal to revenge a regular season spanking at Connecticut. But once again, the Huskies had the Cuse's number. Despite 29 from Melo and 14 from Hakeem Warwick, UConn sent the Orange home from New York early with an 80-67 defeat.
That kind of woke people up again, you know, talking about because our next loss would have been our last, and it would have been over. Everything we worked for would have been over, you know. So by us losing that game, and knowing that we were still alive, that we still had a chance to win a national title, you know, I think guys went at practice that much harder that week, you know, getting ready for a tournament because we didn't want to have that feeling again.
2 days later, the team learned of its fate. Syracuse was named 3rd seed in the East region of the NCAA tournament. They would open against Manhattan in Boston. Although the Jaspers scored the first 5 points of the game, the Orangemen took the lead for good at 13-12. The Syracuse freshman class proudly shouldered the burden in this game, scoring 43 of the team's 76 points in an 11-point opening round win. And so the first leg of the journey to New Orleans was complete. The KG veteran Eddie Sutton would match wits with Jim Boeheim in the second-round matchup. Oklahoma State was a dangerous opponent, and for a long time it looked like the Syracuse season was over. The Cowboys raced to a 17-point first-half lead, holding freshman tag team Carmelo Anthony and Jerry McNamara scoreless. So off the bench came Billy Edelin, Josh Pace, and Jeremy McNeil, who helped reduce the deficit to 6 by halftime.
Yeah, I mean, I think sometimes everybody on the team holds back from what they can do as far as individual because, you know, we have so many talented players. A lot of times we'll have 4 or 5 guys in double figures. So you have to hold back. But I think in that game it was like go in and just produce because we were down. So, you know, it was no holding back. Just try to win this game.
Just 40 seconds into the second half, Melo hit his first basket of the game. And then G-Mac went on a 3-point binge.
Yes! Jerry McNamara! Quick pass up court, right side, McNamara wide open, 3-ball away jumper, right between the eyes! G-Mac from downtown!
The Orangemen slowly but methodically climbed their way back into the game.
Shovels out the end, lays it up at the little dipsy-do off the left side. Shovels up, on the block, backing in, Melo spins, fires, and hits from the right baseline. Carmelo Anthony now with 13. Right of the lane, taking doesn't keep work, backdoor cut, give it inside McNeil, elevates and slams it down with 2 hands.
At the 2-minute mark, the Cuse had built a 12-point lead. And the gutsiest comeback of all was complete.
That game was incredible. 17 points behind, and they come back and win, and they won going away. They didn't win on a last-second three-pointer. They took a 17-point deficit and turned it into a 12-point win. That was just amazing.
Just 2 hours down the New York State Thruway in Albany, the Orangemen would play for a berth in the Final Four. Surprising to no one, the hometown of Craig Forth was transformed into a sea of orange.
There's only 2 places I've ever been on press row, turned around and did one of these. Looked around. One was at Tennessee for the football game where Rocky Top and Creamsicle Orange were all over the place. And one was in Albany where it was our orange all over the place, and it was just amazing.
That partisan crowd motivated the Orangemen, who came out firing and fashioned a 17-point first-half lead against Auburn.
Delaney up court, pace driving in, goes airborne and slams with two hands. The court to Edlin, to the free throw line, shovels off at the free throw line. Warwick from 15, and it's up and down by spinning keep. Warwick goes back to his right, fires from 15, shot won't go. McNeil, the rebound, goes up and tomahawk jams with the right hand.
The Tigers chipped away in the second half, but time and time again, SU withstood the volleys.
Lane intercepted by Carmelo Anthony. Anthony brushes down by left to right. Looking up to his right, stops, pulls up for his three-jumper. Nothing but the bottom of the net for Carmelo Anthony. Takes it on the weak side, spins, gets to the middle, takes the paint, throws up the left-handed hook shot. It hangs and falls inside. Steps in, pulls up from 17, jumper, rims up, and the rebound punt for inside, taken by Anthony, and he explodes and throws it down, taking out his frustrations with the hand.
The Syracuse lead was 8 with 5 minutes to play. But the Tigers' Nathan Watson made it too close for comfort.
There pulls up for a long three and drains it 27 feet out. Josh Pace by himself goes up and slams it down with 6 seconds to play. A 4-point game across the timeline from right to left. Penetrating right side, Watson pulls up another 3-ball jumper. Good once again, and it's a 1-point game as time expires. And the Orangemen have moved on to the Elite Eight with a 1-point victory.
It's one game elimination, and you know if you lose, you're out. And to be able to come in off the bench, people say it's very hard, and I agree it's very hard. But it's just something where if you get your chance, you gotta show what you can do. And I got my chance, and I was able to produce and help the team out.
They scored 50-some points against us in the second half, more than anybody did probably all year. So even though we had a comfortable lead, the game was never secure until the buzzer blew, and we were up by 1.
The victory was number 650 in Boeheim's 27-year career. Syracuse would play Oklahoma for the right to advance to the Final Four. But after all the brave comebacks and fabulous finishes, the outcome of this game was never in doubt.
McNamara high left side, takes a three, penetrates down the lane, throws up the runner with the right hand. Nothing but the bottom of it for Terry McNamara, and G-Mac coming to lane.
Right side of the fourth, looks for Hannah, shows him to Delaney down the lane, lays it up and in. Trapping in the right side, cut off by Price, bounces baseline right, Carmelo Anthony lays it up and in. Nice along the way at the baseline. His own pass intercepted by Warwick. Outlet pass to McNamara, quickly up court, nice down the lane, scoops out his up and in. Coast to coast, McNamara. Gives off inside of McNeil, kicks up the free throw line, Elin leans in, throws it up. Oh, the free track lock of 10. Free throw line, Billy Elin down the lane, scoops out his up, gives off the work, slams it down with the right hand. Spins to the paint, spins back to the left shoulder, dumps it down to the lead.
Kelvin Sampson was obviously looking for some answers out there, trying to solve, this equation on both ends of the court, and they couldn't do it.
Oklahoma didn't have a clue. They didn't have a chance that day. They had no idea how to attack the 2-3 zone. They were baffled by it, confused by it. I think they were a little bit in awe of it. They were scared of it, and it was just such a complete victory.
The final score was 63-47. Syracuse was going back to the Final Four.
Syracuse has won it 63-47, and for the 4th time in school history, the Orange are going to the Final Four.
Mark, as youth is the youngest team in a tournament, among the youngest teams in the country, headed to the Final Four.
Can you believe it? Syracuse victorious 63-47.
Once we beat them, then we was cutting the nets down. Everybody, we got in the locker room, everybody said that they ain't want that to be the last net to cut. We still had a lot of unfinished business to it.
This team was all business, and I respect the fact that none of these guys got caught up in what was going on around them. I think that's why we're victorious.
Central New York was delirious with Final Four fever. Thousands stormed Manley Fieldhouse to give the Orangemen a rousing send-off. Then it was off to New Orleans, site of the 1987 Final Four, and the opportunity to exorcise the ghost of Keith Smart's haunting jump shot. 16 years later, Jim Boeheim arrived in the Big Easy with a new team and renewed hope. Not much had changed. The French Quarter was just as Syracuse fans had left it. Some made a return trip, while others experienced Bourbon Street for the very first time. While the fans partied, the team went to work at the Superdome. There they would face yet another Big 12 team, Texas, in the national semifinals. And they were ready.
Inside, I felt good because we averaged 80 points in the Big East. To me, that translates into 90 in the Big 12. They don't play every possession like we play. And I felt that we had better scores than both teams.
The Final Four continues on CBS with Game 2 in the national semifinals. It's an all-orange scene right now. Here's the Syracuse Orangemen take on the burnt orange Texas Longhorns.
Hakeem Lawrence spotted the orange in early leads.
Stop and go. Now the lane spins, shovels up, right side to Hakeem Lawrence.
But Texas countered with Brandon Luton. Syracuse maintained control for most of the game. But the Longhorns wouldn't go away quietly.
Pace penetrating left side, kicks it near side, McNamara pulls up with great temper. Right between the eyes from downtown. Rebound front court side, Boniger had it, taken away by Timor. Spins, leans in, elevates, and slams it down with the right hand. Look out below, he goes up and lays it up and in.
Carmelo Anthony was at his best, 33 points and 14 rebounds, with an ever-present smile on his face.
He was having fun out there. Here's the guy with the probably the highest rep in college basketball, and we think the best player in America. And here he is. He doesn't have an entourage. He goes to class. He's one of the hardest workers in practice. He's always smiling, and that's what's special.
When the horn sounded, the Orange had notched an 11-point win over the Longhorns and would now play for the title.
We played a tough game on the offensive end, and I think whenever we needed a big shot, someone stepped up and hit it. So it was big shot after big shot that carried us to victory.
Naturally, SU fans celebrated in Syracuse, New Orleans, and everywhere in between. A nasty spring ice storm created its share of challenges as Championship Monday unfolded in central New York. Over 100,000 homes were without electricity. So over 10,000 gathered in the Carrier Dome to watch the game on giant video screens. Back in the Big Easy, SU fans gathered for a pep rally at the team's hotel before making their way to the Superdome. As tip-off approached, the tension mounted. Who would be crowned champions of college basketball? The precocious upstarts or the savvy veterans? Which coach would win his first national title? Jim Boeheim in his third try or Roy Williams, a three-time runner-up? Was victory in the cards for Syracuse or Kansas? Much to the surprise of the nation, the young guns from central New York completely dominated the first half.
Right between the eyes. Quick, regains it, gives up down low. Eagle lays it up and in. It's Langford. Brings up top, shovels out McNamara, pulls up three ball on the way jumper. Oh, he is unconscious tonight. Anthony fakes, drives down the left side of the lane, leans in, scoop shot is up and in by Carmelo Anthony. That time he just over, runs to the back door, pulls up from 12, does Anthony, jump shot missed. Oh, the follow jam.
Came out so focused. I don't think we ever played that well the entire year, and like we did in that first half, because we wanted that championship so bad.
The Orange led by as many as 18 points en route to a 53-42 halftime cushion. But everyone knew those 20 minutes were too good to be true. Surely we would see the real Jayhawks in the second half. And we did.
Returns pass Lee, open in the corner for three, yes. Baseline, lobs up top and 10 for Carmelo Anthony, stolen away by Collison. Up court, Miles gives to a trailing Heinrich, goes airborne, scoops and scores.
Despite the Hawks' persistence, Syracuse held the upper hand.
The lane, Warwick back again, spins with Collison, elevates and lays it up and in. Up court, left wing, Anthony elevates for three, jumper, right between the eyes. Throws up the right hand shot, rattles. The bottom tip is up and in by Craig Ford.
Trailing by 12 with 7.5 minutes to play, it was time for Kansas to either step up to the plate or call it a day. They chose to play.
For knifing it with offside, lays it up and in with the left hand. The pace spins around Miles to the baseline, knifes to the bucket, lays it up and in with the left hand. Penetrates, kicks it right side, Heinrich over for three, yes. He strokes his third three-pointer. Quick pass down low, wide open, quick work, elevate, he slams it home, and he's fouled. Tries right now, the lane goes there, right first over the right hand, and it's up and down. Heinrich throws the alley-oop, the catch and a slam by Nick Collison.
Clinging to a 2-point lead with 40 seconds left, Queth Quaney hit one of 2 free throws to nudge the gap to 3 with 24 ticks remaining. Then Warwick went to the line for 2, but missed them both. On the sideline, Jim Boeheim was overcome with deja vu. Like Indiana in 1987, Kansas would have the last shot.
Seconds across the timeline, right to left. Back in the 2-3 zone, angles toward the right side. Down to 6, down to 5, airborne. Throws up the Heinrich. Elevates, kicks it in the corner. Wide open, lead for 3. Shot rejected on a bounce by Keem Warwick.
I saw Queth run out, and he got some guy, and Lee was wide open in the corner. And I was like under the basket, and I just saw him about to take the shot.
You know, the whole time you're sitting there going, oh my God, the guy, you know, and then all of a sudden out of nowhere, Hakeem Warwick just bam, out of bounds. And at that moment, it was kind of like, we're going to win this thing. Oh my God, we're going to win this thing.
Graves looking, played into Heinrich, spins up the left side, fading away, firing, three-pointer, it's over, it's over, the Orange have won it, Syracuse has won the national championship, and Jim Boeheim has found the final 4 seconds here in New Orleans. They're screaming, they're dancing at Syracuse, and the Orangemen are the champions of college basketball.
It was just like a mad dash. Everybody scrambled, and then we all ended up on the floor. And just to see the parents and all the fans going crazy, it was just like a great feeling.
I just stood there with my hands over my head because I couldn't believe that it was us, that we was actually national champions at the time. It started really to sink in right there when I see my mom. I ran over there and everybody grabbed me and started hugging me. I hugged my mom, and then while I was hugging her, I was like, we really national champs, man. Everything that anybody could ever dream of just came true.
It was really emotional, just all the stuff you've been working for all your life and just dreaming about it and just finally coming true and knowing that we're going to all be a part of history. It was just great.
Just minutes later, students poured onto Marshall Street to bask in the glow of victory. Bourbon Street had absolutely nothing on Marshall Street on this night. When the new national champions returned home with their hardware, they were feted with the fervor of a rock concert. More than 25,000 fans came to the Carrier Dome, bursting with pride and unbridled joy. It was a night no one who attended would soon forget.
Believe me, you don't have to thank me. I'm up here thanking all of you for making this dream come possible, that this Carrier Dome could be the best place to play college basketball in the country. Thank you.
The first thing I was thinking was, we're getting more for this than we have in some games. It shows a lot, and it means a lot to us to be able to, give them a national championship.
To walk through those, doors and hear how loud the people were, how long they, kept it up, and just how excited they were, and all the signs, and it's been a great feeling, a great experience.
That was probably one of the most amazing things I've ever seen here, and I've seen a lot of amazing things at Syracuse. That was a really mind-boggling night. I haven't seen much better than that. I don't think there's many places that could equal that night.
On Saturday, even Mother Nature smiled upon Central New York's favorite sons. Downtown Syracuse was bustling with fans of all ages for the championship parade. It was an opportunity the community cherished.
It's a great feeling to win the national championship. I mean, that's what you want to do. That's what you dream about doing as a player and as a coach. And all our fans. I mean, we've had fans that supported this program for well over 30 years. And it's nice to see them being so happy about it.
I think Syracuse and Central New York needed this. I think this is a great thing for our area. But what a boost, a confidence boost, an emotional, uplifting moment this was for Syracuse. I mean, 25,000 people turned out at the Carrier Dome. Downtown is just swarming with Syracuse fans. I think that tells you right there what it meant to this community. And it taught Central New York that we don't have to expect to lose. It's possible to win. You can be national champions even in Syracuse, New York.
Now, it's not a life-changing story. It's not scandalous. You're going to remember it because it's the feel-good story. We won. Let's be happy. This is something that's going to put us on the map forever. Now when people think of Syracuse, they're not going to think of snow. They're going to think of snow and that championship.
And they'll think of Carmelo Anthony, the one-year wonder who on April 24th announced he was moving on to the NBA. He did so with tears in his eyes and a heavy heart. But deep down, everyone knew the time was right. And so the year 2003 will be fondly recalled as the year the hometown team was the best team in college basketball. It was comprised of an 18-year-old child prodigy named Carmelo, who amazed us with his unparalleled athletic ability and endeared us with his warm smile. Jerry McNamara came to us with broad shoulders and ice in his veins, smart, unselfish, and fearless. Who will forget Hakeem Warwick's thunderous dunks or the block that delivered the team's destiny? Queth Dwaney was the ideal mentor. Craig Forth overcame nagging injuries to become a presence inside, while Josh Pace patiently waited for his opportunity to shine. Matt Gorman worked hard every day to make his teammates better. Jeremy McNeil was forced to endure the tragic death of his mother, who told her son this would be their year. It was an epiphany cloaked in heartache. Billy Edelin had his own summits to scale, but his faith, hope, and patience prevailed over his demons. Over 27 years, Coach Jim Boeheim persevered. He also accumulated more than 650 victories. But the one that mattered most had eluded him until now. Now his dossier is complete. This ultimate triumph came in a time of war and the ever-present threat of terrorism. Many in our community felt the sting of financial hardship, and we all endured a long, harsh winter. In spite of it all, this team gave us a reason to smile and cheer, a reason to feel happy and proud. It's not just because they won their first national championship, it's how they won and who they won with. This team had heart, charisma, and flair. The times to come may be tinged with uncertainty, but thanks to this team, in good times and bad, we can look back always and smile, because this Orange Odyssey took us to the promised land, and we will never be the same.
meditating, stay focused and you'll be alright. From time to time you go through stumbling blocks and barriers, but when your nights are cold, your days are clearer. You feel like you can't cope with these obstacles, just keep your head up, cause all things are possible. Possible.
Some people had to walk down Babylon, can't get away all of the negative, so all things are possible.
Cause 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 all things are possible.
Yes, and it counts.